is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Travelling Tardis.
Are you like a little garbage can?
You must talk louder. Daleks are hard of hearing.
Yes. I asked you if you were a little tiny garbage can. I wasn't sure.
I'm not R2D2. You need to get your genres correct.
Wow. Well, R2D2 is not a little garbage can. He's actually a charming little individual. What are your special talents?
Extermination and extermination.
Extermination or extermination?
Correct.
Yeah. Which is your favorite?
Well, that would be extermination.
Oh, wow. Well, so we actually have some like mine. That's wonderful.
Do you exterminate?
To exterminate, yes.
Excellent. We will make sure you're exterminated last so that you may help the Daleks in their conquering of the galaxy.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. Do you want to do coffee? Do you like Starbucks?
No, too expensive. Overrated.
Once again, we're on the same page.
Excellent. We can take the galaxy together, and then I will backstab you.
Exterminate the Starbucks.
Outstanding. Yes.
And welcome, fellow Whovians, boys and girls all over the place, all across the universe. Welcome. This is The Legend, the Traveling TARDIS, and my name's Christian Basil. I will be the host tonight. And I'm sorry I've taken off so many times, but I was getting ready for MegaCon, and I was getting things all set up for MegaCon, and then I went to MegaCon. So I want to thank Dave and Tom for helping us out. And a lot of you probably saw Tom over at MegaCon, and I'm just going to be using that word a lot tonight. So and then I got a cold from MegaCon. So now I'm back. I'm feeling much better. And if you're probably noticing, there is kind of a brand new studio. And I think one day I'm going to do a little pre-recording so you can see for yourself everything that is around here, because Chrissy came in during MegaCon and just revamped everything, new headset, also new curtains behind. Well, they're the same curtains, but now there's a new curtain rod. You remember the old rod that I had was tilting, leaning, and all that stuff? Well, now Chrissy and her brother had put in a permanent rod. So this one is actually staying put. And hopefully it measures up to where everything's just balanced and equal, so it doesn't look like it's off-putting. And yeah, I'm back. Welcome, folks. We're going to be going over Utopia tonight, and we're going to get to your chats. Of course, super chats will always get first come, first serve, and they'll definitely be on the chats. But go ahead and put in your numbers of 1 through 10, what you think about Utopia. And of course, as Sophie Aldred has put, we are going to have spoilers tonight. Speaking of spoilers, let's go ahead and bring in the team. We're going to start with my producer tonight, the Reverend Amagon. And he looks great. Tom Kozak, he's going to be from Spill the Geek Tea on the YouTube channel, Spill the Geek Tea 1. How you doing, my friend?
I'm here to produce.
There you go. And he's
unlike others that don't want to come on my show.
You're actually, oh God. We're really, oh yeah, I want to go there, but I'm not. I think there because I was there when he announced that he was live while we're on live, so I'm not going to push it. But anyway, Raymond, how are you doing there? How did MegaCon treat you? I mean, what was the feeling over at MegaCon?
Oh yes, I still haven't done those videos yet, but I did talk about it on Spill the Geek Tea, and I did with three shows about it. One I was live, and everyone knew about that one. But as I represent the Legend of the Traveling Tardis and Spill the Geek Tea, any views I may have towards any such events and such, I will not go into greater details. I plead the fifth on that.
No,
I will
we're
leave it at
very happy about MegaCon and how they treated us out there. We understood that there was a totally new staff, so they were getting used to things out there, and I think they
Here.
did a great job as far as what they could. There are a few challenges out there. I know I was grumbling every morning with those challenges, but what I love is that we have a liaison. Her name is Croy, and I was happy because Croy actually came from Tampa Bay Comic Con. She used to work there. She was our liaison to that convention, and then she ended up being a liaison to MegaCon, and she kind of knew what was going on, but it was a new ballpark to her, and she didn't understand too much about the. I think when it came to the community zone, I think this was new to her because I don't think they had community zones over at MegaCon. I mean, over at Tampa Bay Comic Con, but she handled it superbly. And even afterwards, she came up and said, "Hey, anything we can do better? You know, I just want to make sure you knew I was here and say hi." And I hadn't seen her in a while. So, Croy, thank you so much for supporting us. She was on our team trying to help us out, and I know that they were under the gun trying to make things happen out there. Speaking of make things happen, let's go ahead and bring on the Erie Traveler himself, Mark Muncie. How you doing there, Mark?
Hey, I am glad to be here, gang. I'm on the right side of the grass still. So
you know what's funny? When I go live, I see weird stuff happen. First of all, when we go live, I watch the screens to make sure that the Facebook and the YouTube channels are running. And on YouTube, they have the commercials run right when we hit the live button.
Right.
So I'm just like, I wonder what the commercial is going to be this time. I'm just like, what is it going to be? It's just like, it's going to be like housing loans.
Yeah, they hit your algorithm. So, you know, since you're getting all those ED medicine notifications, that's you, man, not us. No, you know. Yeah, when you're getting ads for hymns, that's you, man. Not
that's
us.
not talk. No, that's not us. That's not us.
My ads are all Skyline Chili, and I'm nowhere near Cincinnati. So, but yeah, no, we're doing good. I've got a couple events coming up. We're going to be at Haunt Fest in Athens, Georgia this weekend to discuss Halloween and spooky things. And then we've got Fallout Wasteland weekend, May the 2nd, for those that are going to be up in West Virginia and outside the Flatwoods Museum for the Flatwoods Monster Incident. And so Erie Travels has bottle caps. We made special bottle caps for it that we're going to give to people who come see us. So join us and be out in the wild wasteland jamboree in West Virginia.
Go see Mark and get some bottle caps on. Get your bottle caps.
We'll tell spooky stories. That's what we do.
Exactly. Speaking of spooky stories, because I really don't know how good segue for this over here, but I think she has a brand new book, if I'm not mistaken. The lovely Michelle from the TARDIS Archives. How you doing, Michelle?
Yes, I do.
Was I right? You do have a new book, right?
Yeah,
yes.
My debut novel, Widow's Weeds, and I'm wrapping up another book. Ghosts of the Wild West, which are period archive newspapers of people seeing ghosts during the Wild West period. But my debut novel, Widow's Weeds, is available on Amazon.
Sweet. Sounds like my love life in high school. Anyway, congratulations on your new book. That's awesome. Thank you. Totally awesome. And we get it on Amazon. So make sure you're looking up Michelle out there and getting her book. Speaking of our
I have a new job.
You have a new wait. When did you get a new job?
About a month ago. I've been keeping it quiet. I'm an independent researcher now.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you independent? Can I ask what you?
Yeah, I'm helping with a antique store in Fredericksburg. There's a number of things he needs me to help research. So I am a freelance historic researcher right now.
Sweet.
All right, good. Sweetness. Speaking of sweetness, let's bring him on over here. Let's bring on Sean from Our Philosophy Is. How you doing, Sean? Welcome back to the show.
I'm doing great. You know, I'm sweet right now. I'm not sweet all the time. I gotta just let everybody know that I'm not always sweet. I do, but yeah, I got to tell you, today I feel like reviewing this episode. I feel like I'm living in a utopia. This is exactly where I like to be, reviewing Doctor Who stuff. So I'm doing great, and I'm excited to get into this.
I know it just I felt bad that I was out sick for Blink, and I just did I tried to do my best. I was coughing up a storm, so I had to go on my cell phone real fast and said I don't want to be coughing it up, and I'm still getting out the stuff because it's one of those colds that like it just lingers. It doesn't just leave. It has to linger and remind you, oh, by the way. And you'll wake up one morning and just like, oh, by the way, I didn't leave just yet, and you're coughing. So, yeah.
I'm glad when you were sick, you weren't like lying in bed and it was raining, and you're like, the doctor said I had until the rain stops.
Oh God, no. Or maybe he will. Maybe he will. I don't know. Speaking of which, there, folks, let's go ahead and bring on the gadget. Let's go ahead and move on. Does anybody else have any announcements before I bring on Miss the Gadget Pendragon? Nope. Okay. Let's bring on Gadget.
Hey guys.
Hey.
My computer just scared me a little bit because you know how we have the split screens now? The phone one was working, but the regular one, the browser hated, and I'm hoping that's not the YouTube thing that's been going on.
I'm getting used to my new headset, and it's not stereo, it's mono.
Ooh.
And it just sounds really awkward now that everybody, so I got this so I can move around just in case, I had to do something or I had to leave the room for a moment there, and I could just mute myself. But everybody's mono, so, and I don't mean that in the viral sense. I'm talking my headset.
So we all shout, "Look over here! Look over here!"
Exactly.
No, we're all smack dab in the middle of your brain.
Yeah, I said he was cosplaying in NASA Control personnel right now.
There you go.
Yeah, they're still having problems with Outlook.
And the toilet.
I'm sorry. Did I hear that we're just not having problems with Outlook? Because I'm pretty sure Outlook's had a problem since they launched it. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Perpetually problems with Outlook.
I kept my Windows phone as long as I could, and then they killed it. The bastards killed it with a Windows update. Why? Why would you do that?
Because that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Yes. This feature that's working perfectly fine. What if we just like broke it?
Yeah.
The reason I loved it is it worked as a phone. It didn't have all these stupid apps and features and everything. It was a good phone, and you could do Word on it. That's all I needed.
Mm-hmm. And Windows 9 was not my idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just
good to know. Good to know. All right. So I don't have to take you out.
It's no different than when you get like a new car, and then all of a sudden you go from 2025 to 2026, and then they said, you know what would be great? Let's take out the power steering and the wheels.
Yep.
It works so much better if we take that out. I mean, it was just a cost.
Well, look at the Legend AI. It tells you the craziest things. It actually knows that you're the host of The Legend of Traveling Tardis, but it calls Reverend Amazon.
Yes, that's what I'm calling. Tom, that's your new name now. You're Reverend Amazon.
I'm rich.
I had one person forward me an AI search of me, and they said that Eerie Travels is being made into a major motion picture starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm all in. I'm ready for that paycheck. Let's do it.
What a way to find out, huh?
Yeah, he was playing me apparently in the movie, so I don't know. Nice. He doesn't capture my likeness, but I'm willing. If he's a good actor, I'm willing to do it.
I don't think I've ever seen him with a beard, so we'll have to beard and glasses. This is going to be something new. Speaking of something new, Magic, let's just go to the news.
Well, what's new is that the new drops for Big Finish in April and on their new CDs of radio dramas, because right now with our wilderness years, we need something to listen to, and they have a few coming soon. They have Unit Errors Hostile Universe. They have Zygon Sentry Transformation. They even have Doctor Who Ninth Doctor Adventures Pandemonium. which is this that we're going through right now, and Doctor Who: The Sixth Doctor Adventures, as well as the Dark Gallifrey, the Meddling Monks Part 1. Those are all coming soon this April. And also, don't forget to pick up your copy because our wonderful, if I do it right, Eighth Doctor and Daphne will be on their own audio drama series with Big Finish. So look out for that. And also, Big Finish is actually asking everybody to go to their website because 50 or fewer copies remaining, last chance on CD. So hurry and get your copies now of box sets and CDs before they run out. And currently they're doing Schoolboy, Future Spy, Young Bond. So get there as fast as you can before all of these are sold out. And the only crazy thing right now is the news is just dead in the water, especially like land and sea, because they have been so landlocked and chain locked and running adrift with all these new streaming sites and everything. It's hysterical. We don't know if Netflix is going to get it. We don't know if HBO Max is going to get it. Everybody's in talks and the negotiating right now. And I have a funny feeling, allegedly, it is that one episode why it's not being aired right now and everything, because I don't know how would you. I don't want to say that episode because we might get a lot of PETA and everybody else screaming their heads off, allegedly, because of that one episode. So that could be the catalyst type thing that's causing this, as well as the negotiations for the new series, especially with the animated series being talked about and everything. But hopefully maybe by Christmas. But speaking of Christmas, they're still setting up for September. We're working on schedules. I will tell you that there are some stars that need to check their schedules right now, so they might align. All the stars might align, and we might get a good Christmas tree for of Doctor Who spoilers soon. But if my source is right, this one might be the second script. There were 3 scripts. This one might be the second script. I wanted it to be the third script that I know about, but I think they're saying the second script because it's a happy medium for everybody. So that's the alleged information I got from my source. But like anything he said, it can change on a drop of a dime, a bad hay penny. It could just be whatever and everything. So guys, if you're so desperate for Doctor Who, please go to Big Finish and get the CDs, get everything, and work on that. And if you want to talk about space and traveling and everything, go watch the Artemis 2, rewatch it, watch the live feed on NASA and everything. Hopefully we get another cool shot and everything, but I'm very happy that they did name one of the creators after his mom. You know,
that was pretty cool.
Wife? Mom. Okay.
His late wife.
But my friend said it was his mom. That's why I wanted to make sure. So again, there was stories that said it was his mom, and then another said his wife. So it is his mom. I mean, his wife.
The takeoff day was the anniversary of his mother's death.
That's what it is.
The creator after his late wife, Colleen.
Okay.
Who died while they were in training and stuff.
Yeah.
And
then we all cried.
Now I have a question real fast, because let's go back to Big Finish. We know that Daphne Ashbrook is going to be returning with the 8th Doctor. Is she going to be Grace Holloway, or is that still open to...
That's, as far as I know, it is a gracious type of situation, but it could change.
Yeah, I heard she's playing Grace again, but I haven't...
Because it's a toss up because Susan might be around in it too.
Really?
Again?
They need to get Yiji back too. I mean, let's make it the trifecta. Get Yiji back.
Yeah.
We might get like a surprise in our welcome back and everything.
I would Susan Foreman, like the Doctor.
Maybe because right now, Carol Ann is working on another series, a movie and stuff, but hopefully she'll be back to do some audio dramas.
Well, I hope the series
enough.
doesn't. I mean, they don't let Carol Ann be in this series. I'm gonna riot.
Oh no!
I think this is going to be a retro where it's closer to the movie, from what they were saying.
Yeah,
so it'd be like a direct sequel to the movie era. So it'd be like lost episodes with her,
right? But there was also, if they had kept up with Shudi's thing, we might have seen Carol. And that that's a dishonest, like, or whatever the word is. I'm trying to think of the word that to Doctor Who fans because we were waiting for her to come back, because it's
they've done her dirty for like what 5 seconds in Shooty's run, and just like that's it.
She was supposed to have a bigger role, and that's what's sad about it because of all the politics in entertainment and stuff allegedly. Because right now that 3rd season, so what I've been privileged to see, I'm upset right now. I am so upset because it might have redeemed the whole series.
And here's the thing, it's not actually the first time. If anybody goes over and listens to Big Finish, it's not the first time Susan has actually appeared with the 8th Doctor. Spoiler alert, but I mean, you could.
No, that's what I was trying to tell you.
You could go to Big Finish and just find she had Susan's been in contact with the 8th Doctor, and
that's good. Was it Carol Ann who played her?
Yes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the stories were not so good to Susan and the Doctor. I'm not.
Yeah, they were.
That's where I'm going to hold off because
that's why why they're hoping this next run is going to be a better run.
Just man, to almost have her in the show.
Running.
To almost have her in the show and have her not be.
Well, I have
apparently there were lots of cut bits. That's all we know. Lots of cut bits because there was stuff filmed that didn't make it into the final, and because of Shooty having to suddenly quit, they had to redo it. But apparently Susan was a much bigger part in that last episode.
She had a bigger part, so did
we better make it a big thing about Shooty leaving. So
that's such a shame because they teased us in the end of season 1.
Yep.
Susan's my granddaughter. And then it's like, just kidding. And I'm like, come on. Really?
Well, that's the problem, and what I know is a little because I can't because like I said, there was like the only reason I can say certain things is because other people leaked other things.
Yeah,
and what I'm allowed to. That's why when he said there's 3 scripts, and then what he was talking about the 3rd season and everything, I'm very upset right now because it would have redeemed everything. It would have been very cool. It would have been more the Doctor Who we were looking at years ago. It's just that it's political, it's money. It's basically they were looking for the 4K. They were looking for all the other stuff and everything. They were doing more glamour and glitz than storyline. And it felt to me, like I said, those 2 seasons felt like a rehashtag of the seasons we're watching right now because it felt like I was watching 10 and Martha again, and stuff like that. So it's just hopefully
she was right there. She was right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
I have a question for everybody, and just looking ahead, because I'm not trying to say this in the downlight, but I meant, would you guys be okay with Susan regenerating into somebody else to keep her story running?
Oh yeah,
I would love seeing her regenerate and then finding Jenny.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That I would love.
I want her to
Poppy's Jenny.
I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know because I don't trust who are handling the story right now.
True that.
Yeah.
So okay. Words cannot express how disappointed I was out of the last 2 seasons that we got, and I was the biggest champion of this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. Give it time. Let work play itself out. And so yeah, was the biggest cheerleader, and
yeah. That's what 3 was supposed to be the redemption. I mean,
they should have used it in 1. Come on, you never guarantee you're going to have.
Because why would they would cut the Graham Norton interview? Why would they whatever? Because he spoiled one part of season 3, because he was going to be part of the extermination team.
I am okay with them regenerating Susan. I want them to have Carol Ann Ford have a good entry where she comes back and has a whole thing, and then she can pass the baton. Because with her getting up there in years, I don't know how much longer she's going to want to play the doctor's granddaughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like we've always done that because people don't want to be stuck in the same role forever. But like, she's kind of been off of the screen since the 5 Doctors, and even then, she kind of walked past the first Doctor. I think without even. Or walked past a bunch of the other Doctors without even.
Well, she limped for a while, but yeah.
Wasn't she in the 21st? Was she in the 21st century or the 22nd century when he dropped her off?
That's a good question.
22nd
century. Remember, she also. I wish her son didn't have the one heart that he could have regenerated. Because where do you think they got the?
Oh, that's not a spoiler.
Sorry, guys. I mean, what do you think they got the plot point for the Rose and alternate universe Doctor?
I was trying not to. Well, no. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like it's not hard enough. The Big Finish has been out for a while.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm saying.
and
It's,
all the
yeah.
audios, and
Yeah.
Susan. I just was leaving it at Susan makes a comeback on the
Yeah.
Eighth Doctor, and there were
Yeah.
some really great stories. And all I'm going to say is,
Please listen.
they all lead into Dark Eyes, and you might want to have a tissue box ready because it's going to tear you apart.
Dark Eyes is rough, but so good. So good. One of my favorite Big Finish series. So.
And if you
I
guys
love how
are,
they challenge it.
Yeah.
If you guys are anything like me, and I know I am, I don't really listen much to Big Finish. I love that stuff's out there, but she's been off the screen for so long. It's just like what if they would have done the thing with the Ronnie, kind of like a Ronnie type thing, where it's like, okay, I mean, Mrs. Flood was like a whole different character, but even so, like, kind of, if they wouldn't have done the silly bi-generation thing, I want them to stop doing that. No bi-generation for Susan. Just have her be on screen, have her regenerate. Now this is the new Susan, and we can move on. And just, they haven't given us that, like, ever, and it's kind of annoying. That's all.
Well, I'm with Michelle, and this is just like, if somebody else takes over, like the guy who did Babylon 5 that's been begging to be on Doctor Who and be a show, I would definitely, but it was just like,
well, look at Eccleston. He said the same thing. If it wasn't the team that's there now, he'd be back in a second.
Right.
I would trust you all to write a better story right now than the people that we gave how many millions of dollars to.
Like I really want to tell you what one of the scripts names are for the Christmas thing, and I'm like, I would rather see this because it will give us closure.
No.
That's why I want the third script, but they want the second script.
Give me 500 monkeys with a typewriter, and we'll have a better script. So.
Yeah, and Shakespeare.
Yeah, well, throw him in there too. We'll summon him back from the dead. That'll be good.
Shakespeare.
Hold on, let me pull out my Ouija board. Bill, are you available? Bill.
Yeah. She'll actually type out on the Ouija board a better story than we got.
No, I just gotta go.
Like, get this
Is
down.
that it for the news?
I'll just tap into my abilities and go ask them what they want and everything.
That just drives me insane because RTD, when he came into 2005, really did a great job about trying to do a balancing
Well, he did
act.
write this episode.
But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, when it came to 2025, 2026, Doctor Who, we got, here's the Ronnie. Oh, let's dangle this. We got the Ronnie back. I'm like, really? Oh, we got Omega back, or Omega, or whatever you want to call him.
We got a Titan.
Member berries.
He looks like a dog.
Berries.
There's nothing to remember. All this was crap.
Yeah.
And they,
I don't remember Omega being a dog. I don't remember
and they
the Ronnie.
said that this was the perfect launching point for those who knew nothing about the show, but it was nothing but a member berry done poorly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they even tried to have the Star Beast be a launching point, and I'm like, okay, I would be so lost if I started with the Star Beast. But even if I started with Church on Ruby Road, it's like they're bringing too much stuff back, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I mean, they couldn't even
instead of eating the baby, they should have ate the show.
Well, they couldn't even finish the plot point. Oh, she named herself Ruby because she just pointed at a sign.
Yep. And they brought Unit back without using Unit.
Yeah.
And for no reason. Yeah. It's like, except we're gonna have a spinoff in 2 years, so we better bring them back and have them be here.
Yeah, we
Are we
need to
gonna
work
get
on the
in the
hiring
water?
policies of Unit, because that was just some really weird stuff.
Yeah,
going on.
let them play children and minors to work a very dangerous job.
Are we going to have a Unit spinoff? Because I'm pretty sure I'm in America. I know nothing about that.
What Unit
Is there
spinoff?
a Unit
Yeah,
spinoff?
exactly.
I don't know.
I kept
I'm
hearing
region locked.
rumors about it. It.
I think it's
just
called
like
the sand between the sea and the we or something. I don't know.
But
Sea and the Wii? It's like what 5-year-olds do.
Nintendo property.
The Big Finish Unit series, that Eras, has been really good. Cole Shaw, our friend of the show, does an amazing Brigadier. And then they've brought back Bambera from Battlefield. And they've got Kate and Osgood from the new series. So it's been choice entertainment, the first two. I'm super looking forward to the one that's coming out later this month. So
hey Tom, what would you think about Barbara? Yeah, let's go. Let's bring them all back. Ian, Barbara.
Yeah.
What would you think about a regenerated Susan coming back?
Sutek was the dog. Omega was the Titan.
Yep.
Okay.
Susan was Gallifreyan. That was the original idea. Let's keep it at that.
Yep.
My thing now is anybody hear about Gallifreyan Academy?
That was a rumor.
That was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that is sad because you know how desperate people were that they actually were getting Paramount subscriptions because of that. That's what I was trying to tell you. Like, please, people, do not jump to anything. Check your news stories and everything because
anything April 1st, just turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the
except for Legend of Traveling TARDIS.
Yeah. Don't you guys hate when something actually bad happens on April 1st? And like, I don't know if you've ever had to tell someone something, they're like, haha, and I'm like, no, I'm serious.
No, really. Yeah, we lost a pet, our beloved Claudius the Wonder Lizard that day, and it was brutal.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
The cuteness.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a rough day, and we're like, and people are like, oh, that's not funny. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's just sad that he picked that day of all days.
Exactly. So, you know.
Okay.
Claudius thought was hysterical.
Yeah, he did. He went on a high note. He went on a high note.
Got company because you were going to talk about Nick Pope from Ancient Aliens.
Yeah.
Who has Grey Star lovely time traveling screens.
Well, Gadget, give us a little bit about the news and then we'll swing it over to Mark.
Well, basically, like I said, there was not much news going on or anything. And then to hear that our own, and I say our own because if you're a sci-fi fan, if you are into aliens, if you're into any of that fun stuff, that if you don't have that one-sided view and you like multifaceted things, then definitely look into what happened with Ancient Aliens, because it is sad that they lost Nick Pope, one of their interviewers who would do UFO research and phenomenons, everything. And they were about to do their convention when he passed away at a very young age. And he basically just Grey Star screens. He was fun. He made it interesting. You wanted to learn about science. You wanted to learn about UFOs. You wanted to learn about the alleged conspiracy. But he sadly passed away of stage 4 cancer. And because it had metastasized.
Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking because too many people are losing their lives to either cancer, overdoses, depression, things like that. So please, people, check in on everybody. Even if they're famous, not famous, your friend, your family, your enemy, anything. If you know something is wrong, please just check in with them. And if you know they have cancer, if you know they have something, take them out, have fun with them. Forget the war you had with them, forget whatever. Just go have fun, and our own Mark will tell you much about Nick because they did a show together. And that would be the end of the news for me tonight because, like I said, we only had Big Finish to talk about, as well as that the Land and Sea is swimming and trying to survive this wonderful drought of news and stations and TV shows assignments. So yeah, I'm just sad because I can't believe he's gone. I really can't. And stuff. So take it away, Mark.
Yeah, Nick Pope, for those that don't know, he was a former Minister of Defense. We should have other Mark Candyman on here to tell me, but for the UK, what exactly that position is. But he was 60 years old. He had esophageal cancer, but it had spread to his liver, and that was bad. His wife, she's super sweet, Elizabeth. She was a really wonderful lady, and she passed it on to all of us just as they were making it public. He was basically the government guy who oversaw a lot of classified documents. And when he retired, he was one of those guys that said, screw my NDA, I'm going public. Aliens are out there. UFOs are out there. And so he spends the next 20 years investigating. He retired at 40. He quit the department. It's like, I have to tell people about this stuff. And he didn't die. He wasn't redacted back then. He kept going. And these last few months, he's had esophageal cancer, but he was still doing interviews on TV shows. He knew he couldn't beat it. And he kept going until just a few weeks ago. He was still doing interviews with shows because of all this weird stuff going on with people dying mysteriously. Scientists and Space Force generals are just disappearing and dying. So he knew something was up, but his was something completely different. His was natural. But if you were look into the X-Files, he's kind of Fox Mulder, but more the type that did the research. Kind of like some of us who can't go out and do field work. We do the behind the scenes stuff. But he had gotten on. We did Ancient Aliens together. And then we've done some conventions together. So over the years, we'd become, convention friends. So it was pretty brutal to hear that. He died on April 7th, and his wife said it was, peaceful, just went away. So good for him, and I hope he tells us what's going on when we see him next. So.
Mm-hmm. He may visit you. You never know.
He's really not dead. He's been abducted. This is just a cover.
Yeah. His favorite quote was he was talking to this one girl at one interview with her, and he said, no, she's the real life Agent Scully. She's a scientist, a skeptic, and a hot redhead. So there you go. That'll tell you a sense of humor. So that was one of the things we talked about at a con once. So never forget that line. So.
Got it. Gadget, let's go ahead and end the Who Knew News at this moment. Hang on.
And just everybody, anybody else got anything to put in before we close it? And just everyone be kind.
Good question. Did anybody have any closing thoughts about the news?
Happy New Day.
Okay. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's go ahead. All right, for those of you joining us, we are going to be reviewing the episode for the 10th season in my world. So we will be reviewing the episode Utopia, which comes right after Blink, and this is the first episode of a free-run episode that brings back a certain you-know-who, but spoiler alert, just in case you haven't seen it, God knows why you haven't seen it yet. Sean, you laugh, but I remember I think I told you the story. I was at Florida SuperCon, and I started talking about the last episode, Survival, of the classic series, and a woman shouted me down to not say anything.
Wow.
Because she had not seen, she was working on watching that series.
Yeah.
Right.
And she says, I was just like, what am I supposed to say? It's 1989.
We were at Dragon Con last year doing a panel on the 90th anniversary of Bride of Frankenstein. It's a panel. You have to go there if you're a fan of Bride of Frankenstein. And we were starting to talk, and some lady said, please no spoilers.
I'll tell you what, though, guys, I think to some degree that even though it's such an amount of time has passed, I think it can be fair sometimes, because I was watching literally a YouTube video about SpongeBob SquarePants once, and someone spoiled the movie The Visit. If that seems random to you, it was super random to me. So I understand the whole thing of like, okay, I didn't know we were going to be talking about this, even if you're at a convention and you're talking about the same show. But I have to wonder sometimes when people do reviews on YouTube for things and they get like 40 minutes in and they say, all right, I'm not going to give it away. I'm like, why did I watch 40 minutes of this? I look, if you're here and you haven't seen Utopia, we love you. But I would be curious, like, for someone to get 40 minutes into a review video and not want it to be spoiled. I'm not sure that anyone is still here that's true for us. Like,
Exactly.
so like I get it. I think it's nice to disclose that, but I do understand the instinct of, I didn't know they were going to be talking about this, even if it's a very old thing. Like, I've had Victorian novels I've read, and people started spoiling them, and like, these are like 200-year-old books, and I'm like, wait, don't say anything. So I do get it,
Yeah, the boat sinks at the end, and Leo falls off the door.
Yeah, oh God, the Titanic sank after all this time. Damn it! Oh, and
there was room on the platform.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. The 2 episodes that were just discovered, is that now spoiler alert?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Spill the geek tea. Yeah, so yeah.
The guys who are watching them, like the guys who are watching them for the first time, they're like, "Oh, come on!"
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to
I read the
commercial break, but
Target
first-
novel of that. Does that count? I don't know.
Mark, if I'm not mistaken, you go first, right? You do.
Yeah, please, gang.
Got
I'm
it.
hitting
All
my
right.
operational limit here. So,
Okay, that's good.
do the
Go in
quick
order, Mark.
commercial,
Just give us a number.
I go with solid 8 on this
Solid
one.
8. Michelle, what's your number?
8.
8. Sean.
I think it's great. I rate 8 out of 8. No, I rate 8 out of 10. Actually, that didn't work. I messed it up.
You guys are making this easy. Gadget, what's your number?
I was gonna say 9 because I give it on a cuteness level. Sorry, because
Did you say
one of the
cuteness?
actors. Yeah, cuteness. There was a cuteness in it.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the word cute. I thought you were saying acuteness, like ACUTENESS. Okay.
This is gonna roll dice. And Tom, how do you want to end this?
9.
9. So 2 9s and 3 8s, and I'm going to keep my number at the end. And let's go ahead. And when we return, we're going to be reviewing Utopia. When we return, please stay logged on, tuned in. We'll be right back. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to make sure that you want to support the show and get your chat online, please go ahead and do a super chat right now. Otherwise, go ahead and put your ratings for Utopia 1 through 10 in the chat at this moment. Thank you, folks. We'll be right back here for the commercial break.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused on sewing clothes. The spell stays unspoken, a dark silhouette of a marked man, and I'm broken. Right down, I didn't listen to that voicemail. TikTok, that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
Are you tired of toxic fandoms? Do you wish we could go back to being happy? So do we. We created the Happiness Patrol to get away from all of the toxicity in fandoms, in life, and so we decided we wanted to do a show about something that makes us happy. And in the first season, that something is Star Wars. So join myself, Cameron, Scott, Jessica, and Melanie on Happiness Patrol at youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
So what's your favorite Western? Is it this one, or maybe one of these? Is it a revisionist Western, an anti-Western, or maybe it's an all-time classic? Whether your favorite Western is in black and white, vibrant Technicolor, a spaghetti Western, a neo-Western, a comedy, or maybe it's only really Western in spirit. Whatever it is, This is the podcast dedicated to determining the top 100 Westerns of all time. Every second Monday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's Horses on Film.
Every time I hear the word spaghetti western, I think it's a western that takes place at Olive Garden. They just give you free breadsticks all over the freaking time.
I'm still mad at them that support your local sheriff and support your local gunfighter aren't on there. So I argued that on my appearance there, and they were not very happy that I was talking about that. So.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Thank you for sticking around with us, and we are now going to be reviewing Utopia. This is the episode that takes place after Blink. This is one of a three-part episode that introduces a previous classic villain back, and he's played by Derek Jacobi, Sir Derek Jacobi, and then later on will be replaced by another actor. But let's go ahead and move on. We got the reviews, and of course, if you put into the chats or get a super chat going, we'll definitely make sure that your chat will be placed upon here, your review of Utopia. So without further ado, let's go ahead, and we're going to start off with Mark Muncy because I know he has to leave in a little bit. So Mark,
sorry, gang.
You gave it a low score, which is I guess the lowest of the team is 8.
Come on, it's 8 out of 10. That's not low.
No, I'm meaning that it was 88899. So just the lowest of the score.
We're coming off the episode that was the perfect 10 in my book, Blink, and it's one of those just incredible episodes. And so the bar was high for this one, knowing that it started with a deceptively simple premise. This is a typical Dr. Martha on a strange just kind of, they were in the town recharging the TARDIS, and it just happened to be Cardiff, which was kind of a throwback to the Eccleston episodes where they just kept going back to Cardiff, but it's also where they were filming all the time. So that was kind of a fun thing. And then of course Jack Harkness shows up, and he's like, "Oh my God, you left me behind." And he just runs. Now the doctor sees him, but still closes the door and leaves. And then Jack is riding on the TARDIS with Sutek. So maybe that's why the TARDIS is acting weird, because it can't handle 2 parasites on it. So,
if you're thinking the TARDIS was trying to shake off Jack, it wouldn't have just accidentally taken out Sutek.
Yeah, no, we don't, retcon. But anyway, so they wind up at the end of the universe, which is built a trillion years or something like that. It was crazy. And then he's kind of like, "You left me behind for a year. I died. I came back." And so that's this emotionally charged reunion here in the middle of it. And it's kind of setting up, because I guess Torchwood had already happened at this point. I was trying to remember. But this was like going into the second season, and Jack had been in space or something. I don't remember. Torchwood wasn't my scene. But then they meet these people, the last humans living on this one planet in the universe. And Derek Jacobi is playing Professor Yana, this kind, frail, brilliant scientist. And he's the last hope of the human race. He's making a rocket that will take him to this mythical planet called Utopia. And he is the perfect grandfather, this just warm, kindly, the stooped shoulders, soft voice. He's a master class in just watching his eyes full of desperation, but he keeps hearing this constant drumming in his head that he's dismissing as a childhood memory. And you admire him, you sympathize with him. It's perfect, and it's so genuine that when the emotional reveal hits, it is devastating, right? Yana is just this decent man, and when he just hits that transformation, it is horrifying. It's when he sees the fob watch, identical to the Doctor's human watch from was that Human Nature and Family of Blood, and suddenly the truth comes out, because Yana is a Time Lord. Does that big thing with Jack and the Doctor is you are not alone, Yana. The face of Bo had told him, so you are not alone. And but then it's not what we think when he opens that fob watch and the posture shifts, that stoop just straightens out, and that voice hardens, bam, and he's got that chilling smile, and he just has the "I am the master" line. That, oh my god, I got chills. I still get chills about that. And he is not the stupid one we get 5 minutes later. It's so
not the stupid one.
Cold, intelligent, sadistic. Just those 5 minutes of Master. This is such a throwback to the classic villain. He conveys the centuries of rivalry with the Doctor. He's got that malice, and then he murders freaking Chantho with an instant. It's like, it suits me. It's a paradox. And just then he's gleefully stealing the TARDIS. I mean, that's masterclass. And he dies and becomes stupid, giggling Joker John Sim for no reason. I'm so upset about that. Sorry, gang. I love John Sim later, but these early days as the Master were just brutal, and we were robbed. And but then, and the Master just was shooting Jack repeatedly. Oh my god, that was just brilliant. He just finds it amusing. It's so good. But he was so good in that. So this episode, it's amazing. It's great for Jack's return. It's that transformation of Jacoby just elevates it beyond belief. That's some of the best acting in Doctor Who history. Period. No arguments, no question. And I wish he'd stayed longer. That's why it loses 2 dings from me. Also because it's kind of just the monsters are coming. It's like, really? But they're not even monsters. They're just random people with fangs. Come on. Could have been better. But Jack's return elevates it. It's pretty emotional, pretty crazy, but Derek Jacobi, I'm so glad Big Finish got to do the War Master series, the stuff before he becomes Professor Yana.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good stuff. And that's when we realize what we've been robbed. And so it goes down another notch. That's why it's not a 9. It goes down to 8.
Why does John Sims look like he had a night of Taco Bell? So
that's all he looks like for every turn is the Doctor. He looks just like that. It's stupid. It's I don't know what they were thinking with him. I don't know why they were I guess they were trying to write it as though it was a failed regeneration and they didn't really know how to deal with it. I don't know. And again, it was just silly. But all I got this a few years ago, and I'm very happy.
Oh,
so thank you, Big Finish, for letting me get that.
Well, that was nice.
Yep. So if you want a masterclass in acting, watch that 5 minutes, and you'll be very happy. Watch that whole episode because he's incredible throughout that whole thing. That's why that level of actor needs to be more in Doctor Who. Yes, Bob watches all around. Mine's nailed to the cabinet over there, so the time cabinet that I can't open. So waiting for the key. So
key to time.
Something. I don't know. Need a Tardis key to open it.
Yeah, nobody mentioned to me about the fob watch meeting. So
yeah. You've got one too. We all got those. That was everybody bought one when those came out. They were awesome.
Well, Chrissy redid my room, so I'm like, there's certain things that are been reappropriated into another location. So I'm sure it's somewhere if I really look hard enough. So really catch it.
I like hers. That's good. Oh no, she's gonna turn into the Ronnie.
Yes, mine is a Mickey Mouse one. It actually has Donald on it.
Nice.
Steampunked.
You open it up and we pretend that 2 seasons of Doctor Who didn't exist.
I know, right? Yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm a little passionate about this one because I thought it was amazing, and not at all the fact that I can cosplay as Derek Jacobi as the Master and do okay. So
gotcha. Well, our next item up for bids, Michelle, you also rated it at 8. Tell us a little bit about your rating and why.
I was going between 8 and 7, but what saves it is Derek Jacobi, Sir Derek Jacobi. I love the great British actors, and he was phenomenal in it. But on the downside, it's again, modern Doctor Who struggles, in my opinion, with their season finales. And this was another example of let's just jam everything into a 48 minutes and see what works. So we know we have the mystery of Utopia, of the end of the time, end of the universe, and they're going to go to Utopia, and why are they hunting humans on this planet, and why are people with the big fangs? And then we have Captain Jack comes back, which is wonderful, and then we have the mystery of Yana. And then, he's the master of the end. And I agree, we wasted Derek Jacobi in this to have him come back at least into the next part.
I agree.
Then have him, maybe it was time commitment. Maybe he had to go somewhere else for time constraints. But this is kind of the problem with modern Doctor Who and especially maybe a Russell T Davies script is let's throw everything on the wall, see what sticks, and if we can't explain it all, it doesn't matter. And there was way too much of running up and down corridors. That was just way too wasted. But then it was directed very well. Graham Harper is a classic Doctor Who director. He did my favorite, which is The Caves of Androzani. So it's great to have Graham Harper back as a director. He was doing it really good with what he had, but what keeps it from being a solid 8 or even higher again is the classic end of a season. They have too much going on. It feels like 2 different episodes slammed together. And also looking back with the modern day John, just a little bit of modern day Who, you can kind of see the problems of what we're facing now. Was even dating back into 05 and 06, but we kind of ignored it then.
Yeah, this had been a classic Who. I got to say, they would have stretched out over 4 or 5 episodes at 30 minutes apiece instead of scramming it in. We would have had 30 minutes with Doctor dealing with the TARDIS and, Jack arriving again. And then another 30-minute episode.
It would have felt flushed out. And that's one of the problems maybe of modern day Who being in an hour episode. It doesn't work. You need to have a time for it to breathe and to expand. And it's okay to slow down in telling stories. Today, everything is show wang bang. I've been going back and watching shows from the 60s and the 70s. And you see, then they allowed the stories, even if it was a half-hour episode, they allowed the story to breathe and to tell itself.
Yep.
I gotta say about the monsters in this story, we're at the end of the universe, and the only monster you can come up with out of the millions of monsters I've probably come across are people with fangs. That's it.
Yeah,
they're not even vampires. They're just hungry.
And why are they hunting? Why are they hunting people? Why do people need to go to Utopia?
Oh, they're hungry.
Yeah, this episode is a solid 6, except for Jack and the Master. So.
Yeah.
They have a spaghetti western going on over there at the Olive Garden, and they really need to go. So.
They're out of Dollar Generals. This is the last one. So.
Oh man, it's bad.
We couldn't get the budget going for a real monster, so we found these fangs from some going out of business.
They're left over from Buffy that had just been, that didn't get the reboot. So there we go. Give it to you guys.
Exactly. All right, Mark, thank you so much for joining us, brother. I appreciate that. And let's go to our next. Everybody, make sure you go over to Erie Travels, Erie, Florida, for the book. And Mark, where else can people find you?
ErieTravels.com has the podcast and all the links. We do YouTube. We do daily drops on folklore and history and UFO, Bigfoot, any news like that. But twice a week on your favorite podcast platform, you can find us. And at ErieTravels.com has all of our appearances. This weekend, we're at HauntFest in Georgia. Fallout Wasteland weekend's coming up. We'll be at a couple Bigfoot conferences in June. So follow us there. And I'll be back on here as soon as I can. And we'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.
Okay. And Sean, you are another one of our 8 or infinity numbers. tell us why you rated it an 8 and what's going on.
Yeah, so I rated this one an 8 because I agree with much of what was said. This episode to me feels kind of like a breeze. It sort of flies by at a breakneck pace, and there's not all that much memorable about it. But then we get to the part with Sir Derek Jacobi, and it really elevates the whole thing. So no real difference there, but I do have some things that are a little bit different in my take on it. So from the beginning of this, it has kind of a great premise, as was said before. I think the real hook is Jack running toward the TARDIS and going, "Doctor," which I think could be really funny if you put some Benny Hill music underneath it or something. That could make me laugh a little bit. But it's a good opening to the episode, and even landing in this area, it seems kind of cool. But then you start to see the monsters, and they've just got this sort of generic look. Also, I'm not sure if I'm correct about this, but sometimes in the episode it looks like we might have some stereotypes going for part of it, and that's kind of a negative thing. But other than that, this episode kind of feels a little bit like 42. You know how when you watch 42, every time you watch it, you kind of forget what happens in it. And I think that's true for this one. It doesn't help that it's between two really big Doctor Who storytelling arcs, or two big storytelling entries, I should say, because you got Blink, which is considered one of the best episodes of all time, and then you've got the ending of season 3, which a lot of people really remember because of John Sim. So this episode, every time I watch it, I just kind of forget what happens in it. It feels almost like no time passes at all. I mean, there's some good things. We have the banter between the Doctor and Jack and Martha. Martha is slightly annoying in this one when she's just like, "Oh, good old Rose, of course she's blonde," and it's like, come on, Martha. But it does have an okay feel to it. But then, my friends, we see the fob watch. We see that fob watch unveiled, and what was set up in the Family of Blood is just a perfect knockdown home run right here. Everything from the music, the eerie music we get, to Derek Jacobi's performance, the way he's looking into the camera, and it just kind of draws you in. It's one of the first things. I mean, Doctor Who has a lot of seasons, but this is one of the early things in the show that I just really remember sticking out and being like, "Oh my God, something really strange is happening here." And I have to disagree a little bit with what was said about Derek Jacobi here, because I agree with everyone else that he was really great, but I don't mind his short appearance here. And the reason is, when you see Professor Yana, he is this kind old man who kind of seems like he's already willing to be at the end of his life. He was going to stay behind to try to make this machine work so everyone else could get to where they were going. He is playing that type of character here. And it's almost like an inversion of expectations. You see older people who have a lot of generativity in their life. They have this sort of altruistic attitude toward the next generation. And they usually get sweeter as they get older when they have that mindset. But to see that suddenly reversed, to say, okay, this assistant that I've been living with all these years, I'm going to kill her instantly. I'm going to show how much malice I have. And then, as he actually dies, because Chantho ends his life, that's when he goes into the regeneration. And at that point, we all know what can happen after a regeneration. We've already experienced it once if we're new fans. The reason I don't mind John Sim in this episode, and especially like him at the end, and I'm getting a little bit into the ending here, but I think since we're Doctor Who fans that have seen this, what we think of John Sim is going to factor in to these episodes, right? John Sim, I think, is a perfect master for new viewers. Because, well, number one, I don't really mind them doing something new, but I've seen a lot of classic Who. My favorite master is Roger Delgado. Excuse me. Yes, that's right. Sorry. My favorite master is Roger Delgado. I thought I said the name. I was trying not to say I didn't. So the original master, of course, is my favorite. I think the actor who played that sort of employed that archetype the best was probably Sacha Dhawan, because when I see Sacha Dhawan's master, he really does seem like another incarnation of the Roger Delgado master, just his menace and his pure controlled and sort of focused madness. I think it works really well. To see John Sims master sort of all over the place at the end of this episode where he's going, hello, hello, you know, it does kind of put you on edge, because I think Derek Jacobi could have stayed in this role for longer, but giving that absolute masterclass, no pun intended, of a performance at the end, and then seeing him go out like that with that scream, and then now he's this chaotic thing, I think that made that role way more terrifying. And I think, honestly, having him there more, it might have worked, but that's not the energy they were going for with the master that was going to face against the 10th Doctor. But seeing, as I said, seeing that sweet old man turn into that very menacing old man, I mean, just switching on a dime, right? Talk about a chilling performance. And then seeing him go into this, we feel the same amount of uncertainty that the Doctor feels in this episode. We feel like, wow, this is, we don't know what's going to happen in here, and we're caught off guard, and it's disturbing, and it's fast, and we don't get a chance to breathe, and then the episode just ends. That's really great. And if this would have been the ending to an episode that had built up this tension, it would be a solid 10. But it's just because it takes us so long to get there. Well, not that it takes us so long. That's the wrong phrasing. The fact that we have to kind of get through an episode that isn't all that memorable to get to this ending is the reason why it's an 8. But if I'm just reviewing the end part here, like the last 10 minutes of the episode, of course it's going to be a 10. But I have to review the whole episode, so it's an 8. But it's not a bad 8. Oh, I also have to say one final note. When Jack is running toward the TARDIS, I like that we get that little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I like that we get that little refrain from Torchwood. You notice it if you've seen Torchwood. It's a nice little detail there. But overall, yeah, even though it's just an 8, I really, really enjoyed this episode, even though I just gave it an 8 out of 10.
All righty. Excellent. Let's go ahead and move on, and let's bring in Gadget. You said 9.
Yeah.
That sounded really a depressing 9.
Well, no, because I saw it totally different and everything. See, because I saw it as when I had watched Torchwood, and I like Torchwood because I like how it coincided with the fact that there was an episode where Jack was running out of Torchwood to go catch the Doctor while he was refueling, because they had caught on and everything. And a lot of people don't realize he also had the Doctor's hand, because when he left them, he left the hand too, and everything and stuff. So that was interesting that they were refilling in by Torchwood Tower. And then he clings on, and I love how when like Martha comes out, she's like, "Oh my God, he's dead! He's dead!" Whatever, right? And he's just like, "Let him be, let him be, you know, just let him be." Like, "Oh, come on, he's a big baby, let him be." And then he comes back to life, and you go through the episode. They're talking about like, because Martha only knew a little bit about him, and then Jack was filling in some of the stuff, and like they did talk about Rose, because it was a running gag, because she does still like the Doctor. It's a one-sided love. Like if you watch anime, it's a one-sided love. And when she found out, oh yeah, it's the blondes, always the blondes, you know, because some of these guys only prefer blondes. Like, what is it? Gentlemen prefer blondes, like what is it? Marilyn Monroe's movie and stuff. So, meanwhile, he married Marilyn Monroe. So basically, going through everything and stuff, then you see the guy running, and they're trying to help him and everything. But what got me was, usually villains would attack, not just pause for 5 seconds. So that's why I was like, it was downgrading it and everything from that. And then they get into the thing, and I'm looking at the teeth, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm watching this on My Hero Academia, because they remind me of Kirishima and everything, because he has those teeth. So yeah, so basically it could be a new evolution, like the way in My Hero Academia. So they probably were humans that got evolved, and there's no food on the planet. That's why they're going to Utopia, because they're at the end of the world and everything, the way the Doctor said to Martha. They go in, they're running through everything, and then you see this cute little character, like it, you could tell he was an extra and everything, but he was his first big role. He's too adorable, because now he's on another time traveling show. And basically, if you don't realize, this is young Ian from Outlander, and his first role, technically, that he got to work with John Barrowman and David Tennant. And now he's working with famous people on Outlander, and it's just he went from one time travel to another. So he went to a different utopia through the stones, and so basically he was like the keeper of everything. He was looking for everybody. It was the cutest thing when I watched it years ago, because I'm seeing this little kid. Oh wow, he's writing down everybody's thing and stuff. Like, I thought it was like fun. And then it was just like a recap episode, because a lot of times you get that with anime or other shows, you get a recap episode. So it was just recapping what happened when the doctor left him. It's recapping when we might have a troll in our midst at the moment right now. Just looking at the comments. Basically, we were recapping everything. And then he was saying, when did you know? And he said and he explained how Rose saved him and everything. And she just and then he thought Rose was dead, and that she's in the alternate universe. Like, it's just like recapping all we watched, because we know these are the last episodes before the next series, if there was going to be a series. So I consider this like a 3-parter. This was part 1, then the next 2 will be part 2 and 3 of the season. And it just was like, what would you want? Would you want Utopia when you know there's nothing left in the world, So then you get this old gentleman and everything with this assistant, and it's almost like she calls him the professor. And at one point, I remember in Doctor Who, they called the doctor the professor at one point. So basically back and forth and all that. And then when he hears there's another doctor, he's so excited, but he looks like he's getting migraines. And she's thinking it's old age. It's just that he's just working himself. They're trying to figure out how to fix this, and it's just the stress, she's thinking. So when they finally get Tennant in and all the other characters in, that's when the hand comes out. And then I think they triggered this regeneration, because we wouldn't have known about the fob watch. We wouldn't have known about anything if Jack didn't bring out the hand. They didn't mention the Time Lords when he was having the discussion with Jack, where he can't die in there, in the place where they were trying to set the things up so the rocket could go off. They were like, it just was like, that's what triggered. And then when Martha saw that he had a fob watch, and when he turned it over, she was like, oh no. So she ran to go and that was the point where she was like, you're not alone. And then he's thinking while he's talking, while they're trying to get back to the professor. And then she's talking, the assistant is talking to, because I cannot pronounce names, so I'm not going to butcher her name. And she's talking, trying to see what's going on. And it's just foreshadowing another future with our 12th Doctor, spoiler, because why is it the females with the guns that turn the Master into the Master?
I didn't understand that that dialogue, because it wasn't good or bad. It was just like, it was out of nowhere. First of all, he's going, well, I'm going to die by a girl's hand. I'm like,
it's a running gag. They had to make it.
The thing is just like, first of all, you adored the Ronnie, and now later on, you're going to become a girl. So I just wanted to, the weird part about is with the series is now, as opposed to if we were reviewing this and this was the first time we were watching it, and now that we have the privilege of hindsight, for a better term,
right,
that everything that happens kind of makes it, now this is confusion as far as mixed nuts. What would,
well, we got 2 spoilers for future in this episode, basically.
Yeah.
And it's fun watch. That's the way I like rewatching things, because then I can see what we had, what became of, and now that joke makes sense to me, because if you haven't watched with the 12th Doctor, and when Sims comes back and everything, it's his own persona of Missy that actually shoots him to turn into Missy and everything. So it's like the same thing. It's the girls. They the Master can't be. They destroy him basically. But yeah, it was just like, it was. I think they triggered him. If he wasn't triggered by what the 10th was saying, what Jack was saying, what Martha was saying, like all those things that were going on, plus him seeing the TARDIS, hearing the noise, because he remembers the drums, but he also knows the sound of the TARDIS. So all that was just culminating, and because he was already dealing with the drums, and then that's going to come later on when we hear about the drums. That's right. We got so many spoilers in this episode for future episodes, they had to make it pay off. And that's why I was giving it a 9, because after watching it again and then knowing what I know, I was originally going to give this a 7 because it's very fast, very whatever. I don't see any discrimination in it. I don't see anything. I just see people trying to survive at the end of the world. And that basically we either have an evolution of people that there's no food for, or that we're dealing with people that were blinded by Utopia because of the world that they're living in, because they don't want to face what's going on around them, that they literally want to figure out like what other people are saying is fact versus, like we have a persona, and the master had a persona of the professor because he adored the doctor. He always was with the doctor. So yeah, doctor, professor. And basically now he's going through his regeneration of, if the doctor can be young, I can be young too. But it didn't mean his mind had to go young. So he made this other persona, and then he has the persona of Saxton, spoiler, because everyone knows who he is because we already saw Saxton before, and all the other situations that were going on. So it's like this episode I feel is more of a payoff episode or a recap episode, or makes sense now for other episodes. But the fact of that it was just now trying to figure out how they're going to get back to Earth in the right time and everything with the time jumping, because what was the expression that Tennant said to Jack about that the damn time vortex and everything? It's like one had a Ferrari and one had whatever, a coupe and everything. So are they going to use that lovely coupe to get back home?
Well, that was a great example of when 11 and 10 and 11 show their sonics to each other and they're compensating. So yeah, it's boys and their toys.
Right. It's basically the boys club. It's basically the boys with their toys, everything and stuff. And poor Martha's sitting there going like, do I really want to like him now? Do I really, after hearing, and that it was a blonde, that's what did him in, a blonde. So yeah, but I didn't see anything discriminatory. I didn't see it. I just saw people trying to survive because they ignored what was around them. But also it was the end of the universe. They weren't even on Earth. They were on another planet because they were on her planet. She was the last of her kind.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
The fact that Captain Jack is.
But you know what the funny part is?
What's that?
Yana, like you said, if you reverse it, it turns into Ani, which is a termite. And the master is a termite. He gets his way into everything.
And he is kind of a weird, buggy thing in the movie. So climbing into people's mouths as they're sleeping.
And now he becomes a tooth. So there you go.
Yeah. How'd you like to go through all that and become a tooth? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was seeing about it, because I just see that people were at the end of that they just wanted something to look forward to, hope. So Utopia was hope.
Tom, you're up. You gave it a 9 as well. What's the scoop, brother?
Well, I gave it a no.
You gave
it a no.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, I think Tom just said no in German. That's what he.
Like when Michelle did it, she said, I told you she said no. So I'm taking that line. Like all these like this is the accumulation of all these other episodes put together. And let's see if I don't crash for the 6th time. Could be transported to that other parallel universe, parallel Earth. Anyway, so let's see. Going by memory, since all these things are occurring, I said no because, well, as we love Mark Muncy, like the less we saw of Sir Jacoby was, unfortunate. I did not know about Sir Jacoby at the time, but it, as Sean stated, and I agree. Yes, it was. You see a nice old man trying to do.
Is he frozen again?
Do things, everything. So it wasn't.
Yeah, he's freezing.
Uh-oh.
Michelle went, right? And everybody went except for him, right?
Everybody went to Tom.
Yeah. He can call my phone, or he can call one of our phones. We can have him talk on the phone.
Am I back on?
Yeah, you're back on. Just make it quick. Just in case the guys go completely insane.
Jesus Christ, 7 times now. So yeah, Yana was an important character, but it was the Utopia. Everyone's trying to go to this place, and the monsters in there, and Jack. So everyone's more focused. It was like, you have this nice old man there trying to figure out things. Yes, that was the hidden value. That was the it was meant to be that way, because we see the progressions. Oh, everything's fine, but then there, what? Oh, fob watch. Oh, crap! He's. You are not alone. Oh boy, something's going on here. Who's gonna be? Who's gonna be? Most likely the master, because we perceive that, and then for him to transform from the brain to Pinky, basically. Because the posters showed David and John together, Pinky and the brain, but for this episode it was you had the brain here, and it's like, oh, North. Oh, I don't know what to do now. Oh, all the silliness going on there.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yes.
I don't think you can get hippopotamuses into bathing suits.
So we're going back to Derek Jacobi taking over the world. Yes,
we went from Jacoby into Sims. So that's a whole, that's the Pinky and the brain situation. And say, okay, we'll get to the absolute weirdness of the master, because he's out of control. He just regenerates. Then I don't know what's going on here, but I'm liking this. It's very strange, which brings forth again to Alex McQueen, who was the master in Big Finish Audios, because he had that sinisterness. Then we go to our future master. I just forgot his name. They all have that being very funny, very silly, except again with the last master. Just he was a mix of other masters, so it's like trying to get the best of every single one there, without being too bizarre. The idea of Jack coming back, and then we, as Gadget said, with Jack was prepared as he heard the sound of the TARDIS, and he had put the hand in his backpack. So gonna go find the doctor. So it's nice to have him come back. Always be nice to have John come back. John, you know where you can go if you don't want to come here. But we want you on both shows. Martha feeling left out because all these things going on. Oh, guys in trench coats, all these things happening here. The explanation of why the doctor left Jack behind. So that was nice little important information, but lots of things to absorb, But sadly with this, as we talked about on Sunday night show, and Dave as well, saying how we separate classic Who from new Who. Everything is so in your face and everything's jumping right in front of you. You have to have that with a short attention span, just get people going and going, because there's no more exposition. People want that action, want suspense, so they right there in front of them and keeps going on. And that's why this story went down to 3 episodes, because there's so much to talk about and so much to do. They expanded it, which was a good thing. So I try to keep it high because I didn't want to go first, and of course, unfortunately, I didn't, because the way my internet's there. Look, run, and this has to be a blooper picture, because John's being smirky.
Okay.
Look at his face, like, okay, it's time to run. Okay, let's run. But as I liked it. So jokingly say none, but it was like an 8.9 kind of thing. I just didn't want to go first, because Mark had to go first.
All right.
But yeah, it was a good episode by memory, because of the scare tactics. Say, we're going to go to some place that's going to be better than this, and then we find out next episode, well, too bad, so sad. He just what? Okay. Oh, that would make sense. Yes, Sticks Boy 73. That does make a lot of sense. That's why his coat is like flinging upward like that, because that happens in real life too. Yeah, but like everyone said, I do like that Yano just had was behind the scenes, not really important until we find out. He's a Time Lord. We know it's going to happen, so it was a big thing. So for Sims to come aboard and just be in the outright silliness, because as we see next, it's fitting. I see it's fitting for this next the new generation to watch Doctor Who. He's silly, he's goofy, but he's purely evil, and it just keeps up with the pace of everything. So these episodes kept up with the pace, kept you going, not going by going, oh, I need to take a nap or anything. No, you were stuck to the screen, watching everything going on. And what happens next episode, boom. And then the episode after that. I mean, a 3-parter, for goodness sakes? That's kind of wild. So I got all out before I got any crashes on your net. I'm good with that. And that's what I feel like right now with David Tennis. Am I going to crash anytime soon? Based on your internet,
well, don't say anything just yet because my computer's starting to act funny, so I don't have any way of controlling the pictures. So you guys can still hear me, right? Everything's still working.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can control the pictures. It's just so long as I have internet access.
I was also adding a
picture of them. Just the TARDIS disappeared in that corner. I'm just staring.
I'm also adding a picture in there that we didn't originally have because there was a reason why I wanted to cover it. But here we go. It's coming.
So
it's loading up over there.
If we lose the producer and the host, what do we do?
The inmates will run the asylum.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, that's what happens on Sundays before Gadget came back. I'm not saying.
There you go.
It happened to me again. Oh, there you go.
Let me see if I can actually drag this picture in here because there was something I wanted to show. So anyway, let's just Insane Asylum. There you go. So let me go ahead and give you my review. It was real quick. Everybody pretty much said everything. It was basically a 9. I think one of the weird things is what was the TARDIS doing to Jack? I mean, like I know the TARDIS was trying to get Jack
off.
I'm not going to say it.
I did.
Well, she didn't like him to
It's trying to get Jack away from the TARDIS, but I was thinking, like, is the TARDIS trying to kill Jack? Well, like, what are you going to do with him? Just chuck him away or into the unknown? I mean, like, it was really weird. What else you got back? Everybody pretty much said.
Did you notice that the TARDIS actually shrunk a little bit for him to hold on?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the crazy part.
And we had to make room for Sutek, so that was the whole thing.
No, maybe he was holding him in his mouth like a puppy.
What?
No, like a puppy. He was holding the puppy.
And
here's
the other
they
thing.
Asked the TARDIS why he did that, and he was like, "Your evil is my good."
And here's the thing. I'd be like, I'm going to ask you just real quick, everybody.
About that.
In your opinion, if you knew you're doing the review right now, years later, and we know how it ends, and we know how the next 2 episodes are going. If you had seen this episode before, would your opinion and your rating be completely different?
Well, like I said, it would have been a 7. It would have been a 7, but now it's a 9 because it gave me spoilers for later on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's just like knowing that we know now, 10, 15 years later, about the episode, as opposed to what we would have reviewed it when the episode first came out. How would that have been handled?
And are you asking the chat or are you asking us?
All the above. Do you think your rating would have been different if you didn't know what was going to happen?
My tendency is to review older things higher when I view them again. That's just how it tends to work with me. But I remember being super hyped, so maybe I would have given it out of 10 because when I watched this the first time, I had not watched Classic yet. The first time I watched this, so I was just in the zone of there's another Time Lord and it's an evil Time Lord. I think so probably I would have given it higher, but that's only because of the hype I had.
I think back then we knew kind of that Derek Jacobi was going to be the master, and that was an interesting take. And it's just like I think a lot of us back then were like, "Oh, this is going to be cool." I mean, his mortal enemy is going to be coming back. One of the things I thought was weird was that conversation. I wouldn't say weird, but that conversation between the 10th Doctor and Jack Harkness when he's in the radiation room, and they're starting to talk to each other about what has happened. They look like, well, my camera's just doing weird stuff now. And one of the things that I saw scared me about the Doctor was this picture right here. It's just like this evil grin I've seen on the 10th Doctor, because he's now convincing Captain Jack what's going on, and it's almost like the 10th Doctor sees himself in Captain Jack, because Jack's now getting it. He is now living forever. And he tells him the story. It's just like, I finally get it. Straight javelin. It's almost like he's not alone for a split second, that he's really happy. And I just thought, yeah, exactly. 10th is Faust. It just is really that look that he gives to Jack is really just scary. It's all, tell me I'm wrong. It's just like, I get why he gave him the look, but it was just like, it's almost like the 10th Doctor feeling that he was the only Time Lord in the universe. But now here's Jack, who can't die, who wants to do the right thing. And he walks into the radiation room without any protection, which I thought was weird. It's like, at least put some protection on. He's just walking in there. You would think that he would just die as he walked in, and just kept dying and dying and dying and dying. I think he would at least put the suit on at that moment, but I don't know.
You're not wrong about that smile, for sure.
That smile just,
to me, it's like,
you know what he should be saying when he's doing that smile? He should be going, "Oh, I see. When something's gone, it keeps existing."
I'm thinking it's like, guess what you're gonna have fun with now, being the only one that can't die yet.
Exactly. Like, here's Johnny.
Yeah,
Johnny. Yeah, exactly. We need to put that meme up there. But also, I didn't understand how the Doctor knew about his invincibility post, because he didn't see Jack get up at the end of the Parting of the Ways. So how does he know he's got infinite lives? Rose brought him back, but how does he know he brought him back forever?
Remember, this is during Torchwood. Maybe he knew from Torchwood, like an off, like, how they do sometimes where they
possibly,
like
but they haven't even met yet.
What?
They did meet.
Yeah.
Are You My Mummy and all the other stuff and everything. Like, remember, he said he lived through the 1900s. Remember?
No, I'm talking about post his death. He dies at the Parting of the Ways.
So, but he time traveled to that decade of the 1900s. So he probably saw Jack living.
Well, Jack went through that time, but I don't think the Doctor ever saw him through that time, right? They don't meet until this moment.
Because they said fixed time. That's why he said when he saw Rose growing up, he didn't go near her because of fixed time.
Well, that was Jack's side. But what I'm trying to say is 9 never saw Jack wake up. All we know is that Rose goes, I bring life, and then Jack wakes up. But he's not even in the same room with them. He's in another room. So how does 9 know eventually in 10 that he's got infinite amount of lives? He can't die that. I just
finished.
It was well, all she said was, I bring life. Bad Wolf tells him I bring life. And we don't see him brought back. But I just thought that was a weird concept, and just when I see his face, I'm like, geez.
It's RTD writing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I gave it a solid 8 with everybody. What is with the? Come on, you're a brand new camera. Anyway, I gave it an 8.
Thank you for that picture.
Which one? This one?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, put it up again. Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, God.
You mentioned The Shining. There's a picture of him. Do you remember when he was in the Ood prison and he's like, "You think you can get to me, but you can't." Ah! Like, you remember when he has his face between the bars?
Yeah.
That looks like The Shining. And a long time ago, I took that picture of him screaming and I decorated it like The Shining poster, but I put the shimmer, so it looked like he was in the movie. Shimmer.
Well,
I'm sorry for interjecting that.
You're fine. You're fine. But we're getting to the end of the show. Does anybody else have anything before we go ahead and go? All right. Just a reminder for everybody who's following us around the convention loop. Space Coast Comic Con will be taking place June 20th to the 21st, and we will be selling the barbecue sauce over there, the Kitchen Killer barbecue sauce, the commercial that you saw earlier. Again, this will be taking place at the Wickham Park Community Center, June 20th to the 21st. Get your tickets now at spacecoastcomiccon.com. TardisTravelingsTardis.com. You can scan the QR code, but if you can't, just go and visit the website. We are also announcing now. The team has already announced it, but this is I think my first time saying it. The Epic Verse, which will be taking place August 21st to the 22nd, over in I think it's the Oviedo Marketplace. We'll get you more information. Yeah, it is. Okay, we'll get you more information, but if you want to get more information, visit epicversefl.com for more information on that. Again, August 20th to the 22nd. And so far, we're probably going to be wrapping up the year. Not sure yet. Anything can happen, but Ancient City Con in St. Augustine, Florida, at the World Golf Village Renaissance Resort, St. Augustine, Florida, September 25th through the 27th. As far as I know, Epic Verse and Ancient City will both have the Daleks of Florida. At least I can guarantee the Ancient City Con. I'm not sure about Epic Verse as of yet. We just got locked in for that one. But definitely, if you want to see the Daleks of Florida, they will be returning to Ancient City Con in St. Augustine, Florida. Get your tickets now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Michelle, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Michelle L. Hamilton, author, and my book, Widow's Weeds, is available on Amazon.
My high school dating. Anyway, Our Philosophy. Sean, where can find you at?
You can find me on YouTube at Our Philosophy is 9119. I talk about all kinds of things, but haven't been talking about much over there recently. Been mostly over here, but if philosophy, science fiction stuff, that kind of stuff, talking about it in a queer-friendly space, if any of that interests you, then you can head over to my YouTube. But yeah, mostly been over here. So,
Gotcha. Gadget, where can people find you?
Like I said, I'm going to be at Anime NYC for 4 days. And hopefully I get pressed, but if I don't, at least I get to see you guys. Tardis will be in my bag. You guys are more than welcome to come up and say hi. And hopefully, if you guys can help out my GoFundMe as well as Lulu.com, please pick up my books and anything. Job hunting is not fun around here and stuff. As well as catch me on Spill the Geek Tea here at the Legend of Traveling TARDIS. We're working on my shows to get, because I have a lot of unboxings and everything that are behind this curtain. As well as, if you guys want to know what Gadget Pendragon After Dark is, it's more going to be adult themes and adult content, because vlogs will be just for occasional fun things and cartoony stuff, whereas After Dark is basically what adults want to talk about. Anything and everything. We just trying to make it fair for everybody with the way these new parameters are. So we'll have a younger audience and an older audience. Just got to separate them. I hate doing that, but eh.
And last but not least, the Reverend Amagon. Thank you for producing tonight. Where can people find you, my friend? Before your
if the internet lets me continue onward. My personal channel, Reverend Amagon. The Sunday show, Spill the Geek Tea. Tuesday nights at times with Legend Trying TARDIS. I may turn that one into a show sooner or later. And that's about it, peoples. Thank you for watching.
I was going to say, if you froze again, I'll do a riff track for you into the end. Without further ado, folks, thank you for joining us. We will have an episode next week. Don't know what it's going to be as of yet, but we will let you know. Please keep an eye out on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Instagram. Keep an eye out on that, because we will be posting pictures and videos from MegaCon. Don't forget to join our friends over at the Daleks of Florida on their Facebook page. Thank you all so much for joining us. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to say good night to Simon, one of our greatest friends and a brother to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, who passed away just last year. We celebrate his first year of passing, and he's holding the Traveling TARDIS over there. So in the chats, please go ahead and say good night, Simon. Everybody, let's go ahead and say it, and let's go packing. Alrighty. And until the next venture, everybody, good night, Simon.
Night, Simon.
Good night, Simon.
Tony, take us out.